Hey everybody, it's Patrick Grosser with Fathom Realty, and this is your Cincinnati real estate market news for week 7, 2021. The numbers this week are pretty wild, so stay tuned for that. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share a seller tip on how to prepare your home for photography and showings. And for buyers, I'm going to share a tip on what you need to do before you even start looking online for houses. Both of these tips are crucial to your success as a seller or a buyer, and they're often mistakes that are made by sellers and buyers because they overlook this and they find out later they really regret that. So stay tuned for those, but regardless of whether you're selling or buying in this market, you need to understand the market and how it affects you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers for this week. Compared to this week last year, new listings are down 38%. That is a huge fall, and I think part of the reason for that is just the weather we've had here recently. This is one of the worst winters we've had in February in Cincinnati in recent memory or even in history. So it's not a surprise that fewer sellers are coming to market given the weather conditions lately. Closings are down 16%. That's on pace with what we've been seeing the last few weeks compared to last year. Of course, that's bad news for everybody because it's less activity. I do think once the weather warms up and the snow clears out, we'll see that closings will actually start to rise compared to last year. Average sale price skyrocketed compared to last week. So the number compared to last year this week is 25%. So it's increased by 25% compared to this week last year, which is an astronomical number. We're not expecting to see that every week, and that's not going to be sustained. But of course, it is good news for sellers and a challenge for buyers with home prices rising sharply compared to last year. Average days on market is down 37%, which is a big drop, but it's actually not as big a drop as we've seen in other weeks. Okay, so we're seeing that houses are sitting a little bit longer on the market in the last couple of weeks, again, probably due to the harsh weather conditions. The inventory has not really changed since last week. It's at 2.11 months, which is about almost 4 months short of the inventory we would need to have a balanced market where buyers and sellers have equal leverage in negotiations. This would be called market equilibrium. So again, it's still very much a seller's market. That hasn't changed, but overall this week compared to this week last year, we're seeing a lot less activity, most likely due to the winter weather that we've experienced here in February. With the market lately being so hot, so much in favor of sellers, we've seen that many sellers are actually skipping a crucial step in the process of preparing their home for photography and for showings. And this is called staging. Now, we don't need to hire professional stagers in all cases. In fact, in most cases in our area, you can do the staging yourself as a seller. But the main idea is we want to make sure that each room has a purpose, that the furniture placement is telling that story, how the buyers would use that room. We don't want to leave it up to chance or to speculation as to how each room would be used. Of course, some buyers are going to want to use rooms differently than others, like a formal living room or a formal dining room. Everybody has a preference about which one they would prefer. But we want to make sure that the furniture is placed in a logical manner so that there's an easy flow as they're walking through the house and that each room does serve a specific purpose. And we also want to make sure that we're not overcrowded, because if we overcrowd, then it makes it awkward walking through the house and actually makes the rooms feel smaller. So of course, every case is a little bit different and you want to get some professional advice, but typically an agent can tell you what you need to know about staging for photography and for showings. But you just don't want to skip that step because of course the product that people are seeing online that they're buying into when they see your listing is the pictures, and of course those are affected by how each room is staged. And when they go and see the house in person, the experience they have, the thoughts they have about living there are very much affected by the placement of the furniture, by the staging of each room. So make sure you don't forget to stage your home before photography and before your showings. If you're thinking about selling your home and you'd like some tips on staging, click the seller's link. There's nothing being sold there. I promise not to call you and try to list your home. I'll just give you actionable, professional advice on what you can do to prepare your home for photography and for showings. If you're in the process of buying a home right now, you've experienced the low inventory and the high competition from other buyers. making it very difficult for you to find the home you're looking for. And if you do find it, it's difficult to see it before it sells, and it's difficult to win if you're in a multiple offer situation. So what I recommend before even looking at houses online is to talk with some lenders first and get pre-approved for financing. You want to make sure that you're comfortable with the terms that you're being offered, that you know what your budget is, and most importantly, that sellers know when you are ready to write an offer that you've been vetted by the lenders, that you're credit worthy, that you're able to close the loan on the purchase of their home, and preferably that you can do that without selling your current home if you do own a home. And this will put you in the best position if you're in a multiple offer situation, or even if you're the only offer, to get the seller to accept your offer, because there's nothing less attractive to a seller than a buyer who doesn't have a pre-approval letter yet. In fact, they won't even take you seriously. So make sure before you even look at houses, before you get excited and go out and look at houses with an agent, make sure you get pre-approved, maybe not only once, but with a few different lenders, to make sure you get the best terms for yourself, but you also put yourself in the best possible position to not only find the house you're looking for, but actually to win, to get the winning bid and have the sellers accept your offer. If you'd like to learn more about how I prepare my buyers for that and some lenders that I recommend, click the buyers link. There's nothing being sold there. I promise not to call you and bug you about representing you and buying your next house, but I can help you with the pre-approval process, recommend some lenders, and answer any initial questions you might have about the pre-approval process. I hope this information has been helpful for you. If it has, go ahead and like or comment, let me know how I'm doing, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do put out videos every week, one on Friday with market news and one on Tuesday with either buyer or seller tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.